We knew once we hit him a few times, he really gets shook, and you saw on CC's sack, he was pretty much curling into a ball before we even got back there. So, um, great dude, great player. He's been having a great year, but we know once you get pressure on him, he kind of shuts down, and he's.
Oh boy, he ever shut down Joey Bosa, given the keys to the victory last week. The Bears put it into a game plan this week to get their first win on the road. Vegas, a win in Vegas. A lot of experts thinking they weren't going to get that win. Eric and I, we predicted that win. Dhruv,
I
better luck
predicted a
next time.
loss.
Welcome into
Yeah,
Club Dub, guys. Presented by SportsMockery.com. It's a Bears victory, Club Dub, the third one of the year. Bears are over 500. Ugly win, I'd say overall. If I'm just going to give it 2 words, but we're going to talk about it right now. 20-9, the final in Vegas. We're happy you guys are tuning in for this post game episode. We want to hear from you. Questions, comments, concerns. We want you to be a part of the show. We want to invite people on the show. Go ahead and leave your commentary. But let's get things going. Just initial thoughts. I mean, again, this pass rush is awesome, man. It's one of the best in the league. They struggle in a lot of other areas on defense, but the pass rush makes up for that. And today, Travis Gibson and Khalil Mack just owned Derek Carr and the Raiders' offense.
There's no question. I mean, the defense played great for the most part. They did survive a couple of scares there in the second half, some drops by the Raiders wide receivers, but kudos to them. They took advantage of those opportunities when they happened, which is something they actually haven't done the past couple of years. So Sean Desai really has this unit playing hard, playing with effort, all that sort of stuff, playing smart for the most part. They're just trying to overcome some deficiencies in the secondary as best they can, and they've been doing it with that excellent pass rush. I mean, Khalil Mack's out of his mind. Robert Quinn's been great. Travis Gibson had his second sack in 2 weeks. So
He's insane.
they really got some pieces here that they can work with moving forward, provided everyone stays healthy.
I'm a big
certainly.
Travis Gibson guy, man. That dude is nuts. I love
Really
his
is.
celebration too. His Santa sack celebration. I love that.
It's beautiful. I mean, quite honestly, first of all, I'm going to say a win is a win. A road win is there's nothing like it in the NFL. You take them when you can get them. And look, I thought the Bears largely dominated this game. I mean, you take the first couple of drives where the Bears didn't really go anywhere. The Raiders threatened on their second drive, got a field goal. The Bears were able to hold them out, luckily. And then after that, the Raiders were stuck in neutral while the Bears were running down their throats. In the first half, they really, really played well, opened up holes. Bears were up 14-3 at halftime, and just looked like significantly the better team. I thought in the second half, on the offensive side, they slowed down a little bit. They were conservative. Part of that could have been maybe Justin Fields was feeling a little sore as that hit kind of settled in, so to speak, and he started bruising up. So maybe they went conservative a little bit for that reason. I don't love the idea that they can't convert third and short multiple times with heavy personnel. That's not good. So that's something they need to clean up. But defensively, look, I think this team has probably made it a pattern now that they're going to maybe be burned by or survive some scary moments like that big Brian Edwards drop that was 60 yards downfield or something ridiculous. So yeah, they survived. Certainly, they caught a few breaks, but look, they took advantage. They did play overall, well enough to win. They were the better team for most of this game, and they escaped with their first road win and above 500, and it's absolutely well deserved.
I'm just going through Twitter right now. I'm kind of watching a couple other games and everything, watching those finish up. I'm right now as well, so I'm multitasking. But looking at this box score, Fields 12 of 20 for 111 yards. That's got to be way better. I mean, I'm sure he was banged up. I mean, we saw the shot that he took right to the ribs in the first drive of the game, and it reminded me of that hit he took at Ohio State. And then he had like a little run off to the right side, and it looked like he hyperextended his knee. And Twitter, including myself, freaked out. He looked like he really got hurt.
Yeah.
Dude's tough as nails. He was playing through something. The game clearly changed in the second half. They probably took a look at his ribs and was like, okay, maybe we're gonna have to slow it down. The big plays aren't going to be there. He didn't run at all really in the second half, except for that design play that failed pretty miserably on 3rd and 5. But overall, I mean, this was how we've known this team's identity. It's the defense. Another 3 sacks today. League leading 18. You can't say enough. I mean, Khalil Mack just he had this game circled, and he won him the game. He was their MVP today. And again, I think you can't say enough about Trevis Gibson too. He looks great in year number 2. Erik, I loved your tweet. The young guys on this defense, there's a few of them that you're starting to see a new core kind of emerge, and that's really, really good to see, especially when you can get road wins like this in pretty hostile environments.
For sure. And, you really got to give credit to Ryan Pace. I mean, we always knock on him about his offensive picks, and justifiably so, but he's been really consistently good at finding defensive talent, especially in the later rounds. Trevis Gibson, you mentioned. I mean, and I thought Kendall Vildor, played a mostly decent game, matched up against Darren Waller on that one play in the end zone. He really played that one tough. Yeah. So, the young guys coming along gives you more confidence that when they do eventually move on from some of the older vets, like they'll have to, that they'll be okay, because these guys are really starting to step up, which was the problem back in 13 and 14. They didn't have a core like that coming up through the pipeline, and that's what ended up burning them for the middle half of the decade.
Certainly, and you look at some of the Bears offensive players today that contributed to the win. Khalil Herbert, Damian Williams. I mean, these are recent pickups. Cole Kmet had a key first down on that one clock draining drive. Justin Fields obviously played overall pretty decently. Look, some of their young guys are starting to contribute. Darnell Mooney had a huge catch on that 3rd and 12 on that final drive. I mean, they blocked pretty well in the running game all day. Fun to watch, and it's nice that they're starting to show development on offense, even though the numbers may not be there. The production isn't as high as some folks want to see. The Bears are showing growth. I think they've clearly finally established an identity, and it looks like, at least for 2 straight games, they've stuck to it. Even when things maybe haven't worked out so well, they've continued to stick by it, and that's huge. So, well done by them, and it's nice to see them, and hopefully they can continue to grow in it.
I agree, and I also love this tweet. I'm going to respond to it. I don't know what I'm going to say yet. Roquan Smith absolutely should not have been ejected for either of those hits.
Yeah.
They were both clean football hits. Derek Carr was a runner, and he made a great play in the end zone. Those were both great plays by one of the best linebackers in the league, who's now being profiled exactly like Kyle Fuller was last year. When he makes a hit that's too big, he's getting penalties.
It's too good to be legal. I saw Dan Bernstein of 670 to Score say that, and it's actually perfect. It's too good to be legal. That I'm frankly surprised, even though it certainly wasn't. I'm frankly surprised they didn't call unnecessary roughness on the shot that Derek Carr took to his helmet when he had to leave the game briefly. Clean hit. It's a quarterback sneak. I don't know what you really expect there. I understand the Raiders fans were having a tough day, but look, none of those hits were ejectable.
No, and the only hits that were dirty were on the Raiders side, going at Fields' knees in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. 2 roughing the passer penalties and a hit to the face. What's that?
Jermaine Ifedi's hit. I don't know if it was intentional. I need to see that replay, but even that one was a tough hit to the knees again.
His knee. Yeah, he's done. Jermaine Ifedi, lost for this game.
I mean, it was clear the Raiders were trying to shake Fields up and maybe even knock him out of the game to sort of assert their dominance. And the fact that he weathered that storm and still made some big-time throws when the Bears needed him to speaks to his mentality as a quarterback, and that you can't shake him up. He's unflappable, and we saw that again today, which is exactly what you want to see, especially from a rookie.
Well, he made one. I mean, if you're going to take any play away from Fields in this game, it's the one that won him the game here. I'm going to try and find it really quick. I just put it in. But this throw from Fields.
It's in my most recent article if you want to grab it.
Okay, let me pull it up. I put it in here. Let me see if this is the right one. It's the 3rd down play that we saw right at the end of the game, where guess what? They took the training wheels off and they let him throw the damn football, which is what we were calling for all game.
Looks to play. 7 defensive backs. 3rd and 12. Fields. Tight window. First down. Mooney with the grab. Threading the needle. Justin Fields, the rookie, delivers.
And they set up a line at the first down marker. Look at all this to say you're not getting this. And yet he found a gap. And how about the throw from Fields to whistle that in between 2 defenders on the backside, and Mooney finds a first down.
I was going to call it out. But the highlight that you played had it all. They had the Vic Fangio little picket fence there at the first down marker. And if you saw that all 22 quote unquote view there, look at when Justin Fields is gearing up to throw. Mooney's not even out of his break yet. That is a perfectly timed throw, only where the receiver could get it. Huge play.
And another reminder of how much he's progressed, even in just the past couple of weeks, in being able to throw those timing routes, something that a lot of people said he couldn't coming out of Ohio State. I mean, he fit that ball in the only spot that Mooney had a shot at it, because there were two guys right there to make a play on it.
Protected the receiver. Yeah.
And he put it low enough, too, to where he was the only guy, you're right, that was going to catch that football. It was a great throw. It was his best throw of the day. He didn't have a whole lot of them. But, again, you see – watching all these other rookie quarterbacks today, I watched a lot of Trey Lance today. I watched a lot of Mac Jones on Thursday, or today, rather, sorry. And you just see a lot more mistakes coming from those guys than you're seeing from Fields. So you're not seeing the big plays from Fields yet. We've seen a couple here and there against Detroit, but if you want to really you kind of put an asterisk on that win, it's Detroit. But he's not making the mistakes. He's making the throws, and he's putting his receivers in good spots. He's directing traffic at the line of scrimmage. Not a whole lot of audibles, none of those really today. But quite frankly, there's just a few plays that, his guys got to start making for him. His tight end's got to start getting open. Again, I asked the question. We asked this last episode. I mean, Jimmy Graham had one really nice play pushing the pile on Khalil Herbert for a first down today. Other than that, nothing. Jesper Horsted makes the only touchdown of the year for tight end so far for the Bears. Fields' first touchdown was to Horsted. And then I didn't even see Horsted out there after that. I don't get it. I don't get their ideas with tight ends. I really don't. And if someone can explain it to me, that would be awesome, because Jesper Horsted played pretty well, and then he didn't see the field after that. And then Cole Kmet isn't doing anything. Jimmy Graham is also not doing anything. Nice block today from Graham, but other than that, nothing.
This is one of my problems I've had with Matt Nagy. He seems to operate in sort of a hierarchy with his players. Even when ones come in and start maybe playing well and deserve more of an opportunity, he still keeps them down for the, bigger name guys like a Jimmy Graham, like a Cole Kmet, the second round pick, the big, signing, even if those guys aren't making plays. And then Horsted has a great preseason. He comes in and makes a play in one of his few opportunities this year, and then you don't play him again. So this has been a consistent thing with Nagy, going back years now, and it's one of the more frustrating things I think of he has as a head coach.
Yeah, I'm going to go back real quick to the fact that they've established this identity now. We saw it last week against the Lions. In theory, you should be able to tear up that defense even with the tight ends. But look, they committed those guys to blocking in the run game, and even today, that was the main goal. I want to see Jesper Horsted out there. If he's playing well, he caught a touchdown. That was a tough, catch to make with that defender right on him. But he did a good job to hold on to that. But look, at the end of the day, their game plan was, again, not to attack this defense, down the field, because that pass rush is pretty good. The Raiders have a pretty good pass rush, and they showed that today. But, they committed to that running identity. There were Jimmy Graham and Cole Kmet. I'm okay with that as long as it's working. If it's not working, then you got to adjust. But the last two games, they've been able to stick to that running game, and that's been what's really won them the games.
Yeah, pretty good pass rush today from the Raiders. I'll give them that, but still the least amount of sacks in the league. This via Ian Eagle on the broadcast. Still the least amount of sacks in the league since they traded Khalil Mack. Thanks for this, Raiders.
Now defensively, as they built it back up. Carr tries to sell it, and it's Trevis Gibson. He continues to impress with his Bears defense.
Oh, wrong highlight, but you know what I meant. Here's the right highlight.
Top of the screen, here comes Mack beating Brandon Parker. Look at that bend underneath of Parker. Almost unimpeded, even though Parker was in front of him. That elite bend and speed off the edge. Khalil Mack once again bags the quarterback and stops a two-point conversion.
This was the sack on that two-point conversion try, and that turned out to be a huge play in the game, because that would have made it 14-11.
Massive.
And then the Bears, they scored a field goal, 17-11. Raiders could have won taken the lead for the win if they scored a touchdown, and they'd probably play that drive entirely differently. So, that was a huge play in the game.
And when you think about how the pass rush played as it did today, you wonder how much worse it would have been if Akeem Hicks had been in this game, because my God, they probably would have killed Carr before the game was even over. So the depth up front that the Bears have is just absolutely ridiculous at this point. You got Blackson, you've got Edwards. I know a lot of people are going to be shitting on Edwards for, his 2 dumb penalties, but still great depth piece. Travis Gibson stepping up, and he's going to get more work now that Jeremiah Tauchu has an injury. So, they've got a ton of depth on this unit, and they're continuing to utilize it perfectly.
I got to say, I'm a little bit surprised by John Gruden's game plan today. I expected, especially after last week, much more, fast releases, quicker throws, slants, things like that. And the Bears, forcing the Bears to tackle. But they did a lot of these, either they're going long or they're kind of waiting for the football, right? I mean, these screens, these swing passes out to the boundaries. I was just waiting for them to switch to slant, and they didn't do it. And I think, for quite frankly, I understand they're trying to burn the Bears deep because the Bears have a, perceived weak secondary, and these guys have all these burners, but they didn't do it, and the Bears played it well. And, I got to say, that's surprising, but they played right into the Bears' hands.
You could say that maybe the Raiders have been a victim of their own success because they've had a lot of success throwing deep lately. I mean, Derek Carr's gotten a lot better at it. So going into the game, knowing the Bears' secondary issues, if the offensive line could just hold up a little bit like they did in 2019, then he'd be throwing the ball all over the yard. But, they don't have the line that they did in 2019, and boy, did it show.
Certainly.
There was a lot of positives in this game. I know that the offense struggled, only 250 yards of offense and things like that. And but again, another bright spot that I want to talk about, and it was evident from the first ball that he touched. Khalil Herbert, again, very impressive today. The 2 preseason games I attended, super impressive then. His pass blocking was really nice today. He's a big dude. He's like, he got hit a few times, and you're like expecting him kind of to go down as a rookie. He didn't play like a rookie today. He played like a guy who's been around for a while, bouncing off tackles. He's been taking a lot of notes from number 32, and 75 yards on 18 carries today. He might be the Bears' primary back moving forward with Montgomery out. Damian Williams was good, and he was elusive, but I think Herbert is going to be the guy to touch the ball a lot more. Again, 18 carries today. That's more than Williams had. Williams was more of the, the red zone, find an end zone, really nice play to get in type of guy. And I like Damian Williams a lot, but it's clear to me who you want your third down back to be and a guy you want to get a couple yards with. It's going to be Khalil Herbert, and damn, he was good today. No question.
I mean, and again, Ryan Pace with the late round picks, a 6th round pick, stepping up like this. You just love to see stuff like that. And I remember watching a video recently and this guy compared a lot of Herbert's game to Dalvin Cook, and initially I'm like, there's no way. But the more you watch him, the quick cutting ability, the good decision making, all the vision and stuff, you can actually see it. Obviously, he's not as electric as Cook is, but you can see that part of his game, and he's got the thicker body, and he's stronger than Cook is. So, you trade one thing for another, and it really shows up well in all the things he can do.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. I did pick up on a tendency. I thought that on every run that most runs that Damian Williams had, he tended to bounce outside, and it was more of an outside zone type of run. Whereas with Khalil Herbert, there were more inside zone type of runs. And look, they executed very well. The offensive line was very good today overall, I thought. But they want to probably clean up that tendency a little bit for next week because you're going to show kind of your hand on what you're doing depending on who's in the game. But he impressed quite a bit. He had his legs churning a few times. Made the first defender either miss or broke a tackle several times. A lot of yards after contact. Fun to watch. Not phased as a rookie, and quite frankly, I was expecting maybe 5 to 10 carries in this game, but he got almost double that from what I was expecting, and he took full advantage and played very, very well. Protected the football, especially with the Raiders clearly going for the ball, trying to injure. He didn't let up, and that was fun.
Yeah, I just loved what I saw from him today, and especially with a rookie quarterback, he's making things so much easier on fields. I don't know if this is going to be the identity of the offense, if it's going to be running the football and like this. They got three guys I really trust. Obviously Montgomery's heads and shoulders above those other guys, but I still think that with the way Khalil Herbert today, if they don't have, I mean, Khalil Herbert was their best offensive player today.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if he's a 20 touch guy against Green Bay. I think you're going to be trailing next week, and I don't know if he touches the ball that much. I think you're going to have to throw the ball more, which worries me a little bit. But again, if this is where for his first actual game in the NFL in the league, like I was very impressed with Khalil Herbert. I want to take a look around the NFC North today. The Packers, again, let's pour one out for Cairo Santos for being the absolute OG and making 2 46-yard kicks when Mason Crosby missed 3 kicks in a row. I mean, I could not believe this. It was unbelievable. And then he ended up winning the game, but
Packers gifted the Bengals that game, and they didn't want it, and it's just unbelievable.
What was really sad was Evan McPherson of the Bengals hitting the flag on top of the upright on the after. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh God.
I mean, look at this. It was insane. It was insane. And yeah, the fake celebration from McPherson thinking he won the game. Okay, what I don't understand about the Bengals is they had that game locked up. All they had to do was get 1 yard on 2 separate occasions on 4th down to give their kicker a little bit more space. The Packers were letting them run all day. You have Joe Mixon. He's the top rusher in the league this year, but you don't – after he misses the first kick, go for it on 4th and inches. Why are you kicking a 50-plus yard field goal to try and win it? Just get yourself some more yards. The Bengals handed the Packers a win today, and it really ticks me off, man.
Fireable from Zach Taylor.
It was awful.
Yeah. That was
it was awful.
I just
this
I can't. But at the same time, I don't know if I can put my finger on which was a worse finish, this game or Lions Vikings.
Yeah. I was going there next. Let me see if I can find a box score from that game.
Just an ugly fest. Holy cow!
Yeah, the Vikings kind of suck. They're not very good.
They really aren't.
I'm not.
See that that little? It was something that was circling on Twitter. It was like a battle between Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins. I think it was right after Greg Joseph made that field goal to win it, but it was almost like a shoving match between the two. It looked like it would look pretty dangerous. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Minnesota.
Yeah, you better not get
two guys who get fired up.
Yeah.
I will give the Vikings this though. They were without Dalvin Cook today, so that was obviously a big blow to them. Alexander Mattison filled in nicely, but listen. The Vikings are frauds. Kirk Cousins is not that great. He played really great to start the year, as he usually does, and then he cools off when he plays. I was going to say better teams, but the Lions aren't very good either. I don't know. I'm not the Vikings don't scare me a bit. Their defense is incredibly beatable. They got, Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook are special, and Adam Thielen's great in the red zone, but their offensive line's not great. I'm not worried about the Vikings. The Packers are still really good. I mean, their defense is beat up. Jair Alexander is now on injured reserve, so that's huge for next week for the Bears. Yep. Again, they're going to have to win the game passing the football. The Packers have a pretty good defensive line. What's that?
You got to score. I mean, passing the ball, running the ball, you got to score because you're not going to beat Aaron Rodgers with 20 points.
No, you're not. You might not beat him with 27 points either. It's these drops that the secondary got away with today. They're not going to get away with that next week, and we know that. Rodgers, as good as he plays against other teams, he saves his best games of the year every year for the Bears.
For Soldier Field.
He plays his best. Yeah, that too. He always plays well here. I'd love to look up his QBR at Soldier Field. Let me see.
Don't. It's probably going to be, just mesmerizingly bad for the Bears. I will say this. I was watching a little bit of that Bengals-Packers game towards the end. First of all, the Packers have maybe one verifiable wideout in Davante Adams.
And you can't
one job.
That's
and he had 206 yards receiving today. Unbelievable. Did you see how he split the safety cornerback bracket down the field with a stutter step? Just I can't.
I don't. You're gonna have to describe the play to me. What play was that?
It was a play during the actual game. It wasn't in overtime, but basically, Davante Adams is running what looks to be he's running down the field. You have a bracket with a safety and a cornerback that are kind of converging on him. He stutter steps and then just blows right past him through the bracket and Rodgers hits him down the field. He catches it inside the 10-yard line down at the 5. It's like a 57 or 59-yard gain. He's splitting double teams. I mean, there is absolutely no stopping Davante Adams. None. Zero. Nothing.
Oh, I know what play you're talking about. Yeah, where he right at the line of scrimmage, he made that little stutter step and went right in. Yeah, I know exactly what you're
No. It was down the field, just straight down. He ran a go route in between two defenders with a little stutter hesitation move.
I'm trying. Let me see if I can find the one that he had today that almost made me. I could not believe it.
The fact that there's multiple plays like this that you can describe and not know.
He ran a route. Well, I mean, he had 206 yards today, Davante Adams. I mean, that is just he's unstable. He's the best wide receiver in the league. But it's Packer week next week. Aaron Jones is going to give the Bears linebackers fits. They have trouble tackling as it is. It's going to be Eddie Jackson better have his good spikes on because he's going to have to play really well. Him and Gibson's going to have to get up there. Tashaun Gibson and Eddie Jackson are going to have to be big members of this game because it's the two most facets that Rodgers loves. He's going to throw deep a lot. He always does against us. He's going to throw deep. And in order to keep Aaron Jones in check on screens, Eddie Jackson better have his track spikes out, and he better be able to make some tackles.
Pivotal game here because you look at the Bears are 3-2, Packers are 4-1. If the Bears can win this game, they have the same record as the Packers and a head-to-head win, which would be huge going into Tampa. If the Packers win, and 2-0 in the division. If the Packers win, they basically have cemented their hold on the NFC North at that point, which is remarkable considering how far they've come from week 1.
Yeah, that was we all kind of knew that was just not going to happen again. I mean, that team's too good for
Rodgers.
They're too. Matt LaFleur is a really great coach. He's made some mistakes, but he's the best coach in the division, and he knows how to use his guys really well. I mean, Aaron Jones and Davante Adams those are two really good weapons, and sometimes that's all you're going to need. I think I'm looking up right now. Rodgers, he's 9-3 at Soldier Field before this article was written in 2020. So I think he's now 10. He's probably 10-3 at Soldier Field because he won last year, and this was in 2020. So
unbelievable.
He's thrown 19 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Again, this article that I'm reading right now was written on December 30th of last year. So, so 9-3 and a pretty good TD to interception ratio. I think the last interception I saw was in 2018. Was the one Eddie Jackson picked off in the game the Bears won the division. That was awesome.
Was that the last interception he ever had?
Yeah. He's thrown some more this year. He threw one today. Definitely doesn't look MVP-esque. He's not on the same trajectory. Whereas last year he was just lethal on every play. This is a more beatable Packers team. They don't have Zadarius Smith. They're likely not going to have him this year. He wants a contract extension, and he's not going to get one because they have other guys to pay, and they don't have Jair Alexander. And Kevin King is their top cornerback.
I would compare what Rodgers is playing like right now to sort of his 2015-2016 version, playing the role of fireman for all the problems that the Packers roster is having right now. He's sort of able to cover all of that up, which is, what great quarterbacks do. So I'm not surprised by their record, but I don't think they're as good a team as they were last year. Not even close, in my opinion, despite what the record says. They could have been beaten these past couple of weeks, but they found ways to pull it out because of Rodgers and a little bit of good fortune. So I think the Bears can win. Do I think they will? Not at present, the way they're playing, but it is a winnable game if they play a nice solid team effort.
Questions, comments, concerns, guys. Thanks for tuning in, Club Dub. Leave your questions and comments over in the section there, wherever you're watching, Twitter, Facebook, or on our YouTube page. We are presented by sportsmockery.com. Kevin, Dhruv, and Erik. Bears win. They beat the Raiders today. It was a pretty good road win. The first road win of the year for the Bears, which, it doesn't matter how you win games in this league. This was an ugly win. Only 250 yards of offense. You got the job done. You held Darren Waller in check. Derek Carr's had a really, really nice start to the year. This Bears defense is really impressive. This front seven is impressive. They're not 2018-esque. I don't want to hear that argument. They're not that dominant. But it's coming to a point where if this team keeps winning games and they get a couple more here now that they're entering the difficult stretch in week 6, you squeak out a couple more wins. I don't think it's out of the question you start to look for a little bit more secondary help with all of the depth that you have on the defensive line. A lot of teams are looking for that. I don't think it's out of the question. Could we see it? I don't know. I don't think so, but they do have the space to do it. I think it's getting to the point where if they're going to believe in themselves, they're going to have to make an investment into that cornerback 2 position or safety. I think you can live with the safeties right now, but you need. I'm not a Duke Shelley guy, so I don't know if you guys are. I'm not a. Sorry, Duke Shelley. I'm just not. I don't believe you, man. Sorry.
I want to just point this out from Christopher Albright. Started working on my apology letter to Bears management and head coach. Look, I love the sentiment, but it might be a little bit too early for that. But, step in the right direction. I know a lot of us had, and I shouldn't say us, I said you guys had the Raiders losing this game. I had the Raiders winning this game, but quite frankly, did not see the Bears winning it that way. Well played, good game plan. It ended up working. And this is 2 straight weeks where the Bears have had a game plan that works for them well and on both sides of the ball, and have executed pretty well overall and taken care of, a team they should have beaten for sure pretty handily, and then come in here and largely dominated a solid Raiders team. So look, possible signs of progress, yes, but it is nice to see.
There's a lot of signs of progress. I think you put up 20 points. It's not great, but it's fine. There's a lot on the passing side of the game that I would like to see improved, but this running back room that they have is special. It's talented. They got Pat O'Connell and Cairo Santos are really good. They're coming up big. I know those plays always get overlooked because we always just look at offense. We don't look at special teams as a big facet of the game. But those two are solid. They're consistent. They're winning the game in 2 of the 3 facets of the game. They're winning the special teams battle every week, and they're also winning the defensive battle every week. So let's build on that. Let's get a little bit more on offense. You're going to need a little bit more than you know what I mean. You're going to need a lot more on offense to win in week 6, but there's progress being made here. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And, kudos to Justin Fields to adhering to the type of game plan that the Bears are running. It's conservative. It's a run-first type of offense, and it would be easy for him to chafe under it because he likes to throw. He wants to go deep. But at the same time, he's said it over and over. He's into winning. So whatever he has to do to win, he'll do it. And that's exactly what he did. Threw a nice touchdown to Jesper Horsted while taking a hit, and then that absolute money 3rd and 12 conversion when they had to have it, and he made it. So this is I'm always reminded of Ben Roethlisberger back in 2004. He didn't exactly light the stat sheet on fire either, but every time the Steelers asked him to just make a play, that's what he would do. They wouldn't lean on him. They'd run the ball. They'd play good defense and then say, okay, Ben, we need a play here. He'd go out and make the play. They'd win the game and then move on to the next week. That's sort of where the Bears are at right now. Justin Fields isn't going to be the focus of the offense yet. They just need him to make plays when they ask him to.
Exactly. And I mean, look, if they're able to stack performances like this, they're going to navigate a pretty brutal, part of their schedule. Okay, I think. And like I mentioned this earlier, they clearly have some, handcuffs, so to speak, on Justin Fields right now with the offense. And it's still fine. They're still relatively effective overall. And look, they came out of Vegas, after week 4, we all thought that was going to be, week 3, we thought that was going to be a beatdown. Mm-hmm. And after week 4 and week 5, look, they're 3-2. That's good. Can they? And to your point, Kevin, earlier, the Packers game is winnable. Maybe they won't win, but it's winnable.
It's more winnable this year than it was last year and the year before that.
Yes,
for sure. And so you're seeing, and it's not just that the Packers have injuries, right? Like, okay, Jair Alexander's injured, and now the Bears have a chance. The Bears are also playing better and executing better, where you feel confident that, I won't say confident, but you feel better about their chances in certain situations. They've been able to overcome some pretty bad adversity. 2nd and 22, yes, a bad, roughing the passer penalty on the Raiders extended that drive, and then they took that and they went down the field and scored a touchdown. Today they had, in week 2, right after Fields throws the interception, It's 20-17. You had the game in hand, and now you're starting to lose your grip on it. Justin Fields makes a third down run to seal the game. Week 4, and there was another play I wanted to bring up from week 4 from the Lions game. But look, they've started showing they can even overcome adversity. A penalty on offense is no longer a drive killer like it used to be. So like that, there are signs that this team can compete even when things are not going perfectly.
Bears win 20-9 over Vegas. They're 3-2. We're doing a little bit of a post-game show here, about to wrap up, so you guys can go catch Sunday Night Football. Who's playing? It's Chiefs and Bills, right?
Bills.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So I'm gonna go get to that.
Over under on number of missed tackles.
I'll take the over. What's the line at? 10?
I'll say 10. Yeah.
10.
All right, I'll take the over in that one.
Over. Nice.
Over. Yeah, I have Mahomes and Kelsey in one of my fantasy leagues, but I'm getting bludgeoned so bad right now that it doesn't even matter. Do you want to hear? So this is a half-point PPR league that I'm in right now. I'm playing. My friend had Justin Herbert with 43 points, Justin Jefferson 16,
Ooh.
Mike Williams 33, Derrick Henry 31, DeAndre Swift 20.
My Lord.
And I didn't have a bad game. I had 80 points, and I haven't had Mahomes, Kelsey, or Sanders play yet.
Jeez.
So I'm probably going to put up over 100 and lose. Yeah, tough look.
Tough loss.
But shout out Austin Eckler. 3 touchdowns today got me a win in my other league, so love that.
There you go.
Yeah, that Chargers offense, man. Did they win that game? Did they beat the Browns?
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Dude, that Chargers team is nice.
I cannot wait to watch that.
They are fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait. It seemed like, there were like 6 straight drives with touchdowns.
47-42. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Insane.
Shout out to Brandon Staley, man. I wish him success. He's killing it over there. And on Chris's note here, I'm just going to say it. Packers do suck. You are right. We play them next week. It's a noon game at Soldier Field on the lakefront. Number 12, perhaps his last game on the lakefront in a green and gold jersey. Unless they meet in the playoffs.
Ooh, that is
music. Did I just say that? I don't know. I did just say that. Well, the Bears are 3-2. Let's go over questions before we get on out of here.
Hey, you think the Bears and Packers game is going to get flexed to, or Cardinals Browns can get flexed to prime time? Because right now we have Geno Smith Seahawks and Ben Roethlisberger Steelers.
Are they going to flex a game that early in week 6?
Probably can't. I don't know if they can
so.
by league rules, but can they mercifully do that? Because who wants to watch Geno Smith and Ben Roethlisberger? Oh my gosh!
Hey, don't talk shit about Geno Smith, man. He almost brought him back. If Tyler Lockett doesn't fall down on that route, they might have won that game. I don't know. Shout out Geno Smith.
Not with that defense, they weren't.
Not with that defense, man.
Shout
Jamal
out
Adams is a waste.
What a fall from grace for him.
Yeah, seriously.
Also, the Raiders' backup is Nathan Peterman. What are they doing?
Marcus Mariota's injured. My guy, Marcus Mariota.
Oh, I thought Mariota was on a different team. He's still there?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's hurt.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a tough QB room. Dom Salvo, what's Russell's status? When will he be back? I'm assuming he means Russell Wilson.
Looks like at least 4 to 8 weeks.
I don't know.
Week 10 against the Packers. That's the latest thing that came out. So.
Yeah, but if they're out of it, right? They play in a really tough division. Maybe he just doesn't come back at all this year.
Would they shut him down? I doubt it. No one's him. So
yeah.
But they play in the best division in the league, and they're not gonna win many games they might not win any games with Geno Smith as their quarterback. That defense is garbage.
They don't even have a first-round pick. They're at that point they're playing for kind of like pride.
They don't have a first-round pick this year either.
No, Jamal Adams trade.
Oh,
they
that's the Jets pick.
Just saying.
They could have had one from the Bears. It's true.
Yeah, that'll be a weird one. Russell Wilson's great. We'll see if he plays in I hope he doesn't. I hope they shut him down. But again, you're right. That doesn't seem like the Pete Carroll way.
No.
So that doesn't exactly see. Bryson, great comment here. What's up with? God damn it, Dhruv. Come on, man. Relax. What's up with Goodwin and Bird? Yeah, I don't know. These guys aren't even a part of the offense. Demir Bird is non-existent. Goodwin had a target today. Nice throw from Fields. It was just great coverage on the outside. Goodwin caught it, but he was out of bounds. I don't know. They got to use these guys next week. They're going to have to beat the Packers deep. The only guy that threatens you in that secondary right now is Darnell Savage, who's really good. But Eric Stokes, the rookie out of Georgia, played a pretty good game today for them. But, I mean, you're going to target Kevin King all day. That dude's not
He's
good.
hurt.
He's hurt
He
now?
might be hurt.
Oh,
Yeah.
he got kicked in the chest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, I kind of hope he's out there. He's bad. But I don't know what's up with these guys.
He's bad, but Mitch Trubisky still used to make him, look pretty good by throwing pickable balls at him. So I don't know.
Do you guys think these guys are a part of the game plan next week, or at least moving forward?
Goodwin's been okay. He's been on the field. He's been blocking whenever he's been in there.
And he's been
a good
open
blocker.
a few times, but
Yeah.
they just haven't found him. Unfortunately,
Haven't been able to find him. He's Demir Bird. He's not really contributing much, but at the same time, it was a 1-year flyer for a guy with speed. It's not devastating. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see some of these guys get more involved in the offense if they can. At the very least, keep the Packers on their heels, because right now it feels like the Bears are, while they have established an identity, it feels like they have a little bit of predictability. I don't want to say predictability, but what they're doing at certain times, and you know what's coming. So hopefully they're able to change things up a little bit.
I think we'll leave it at that. Chiefs and Bills is underway. I want to get you guys out there to watch that one. We'll have a show later this week to talk about Bears Packers. It's a big week. We'll try and find a good. I used to work up in Milwaukee at the home of the Packers. Who do I got in the White Sox game tonight? I don't know. What's the score of that game right now?
Starting up now.
Did it just start? Yeah, bottom of 1, 0-0. I got the Astros. Sorry to be that guy. The White Sox just don't.
Ouch. Yeah.
it's a bad matchup, unfortunately.
I didn't realize how bad their defense was, man. Their outfield sucks, man. I was just watching that game 2. They need a right fielder so bad. Luis Robert he was playing scared. He didn't go after a couple balls he should have caught. And Eloy he's fine, I guess, but they got defensive issues. The fact that you're starting, I know Dylan Cease had a really good year strikeout-wise this year, and he looked good, but Carlos Rodon was your horse this year, and the fact that he's not pitching because he's hurt, it's not their year. It's not their year. They had some injuries down the stretch. I got the Astros tonight.
It's a tough one. Yeah, I actually picked the Sox to win this game, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. And look, I mean, this could very well be their Cubs 2015 season before they come back, reload a little bit, and come out and win in 2022. Yeah, but
they got to get a lot. They got to get a lot better defensively. That Cubs team in 2015 and 2016 was excellent. Some of the best defensive teams of the decade. They were insane.
Yep.
But shout out to the Chicago Sky, 91-77. They beat the Phoenix Mercury in Game 1 of the WNBA Finals today.
2 more wins to the title.
Yeah, it's good.
The big redemption thing for them, because they lost to the Mercury the last time they were in the finals. So there's some revenge on their mind with this one.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm looking at.
What a cool story if Candace Parker wins. Coming back to Chicago.
Might actually get the Sky more popular in the city.
Be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they need that. And I love, too, seeing all the Bulls players that are going there right now. I mean, that's just great. Box score from
I love the Sky had a pregame tweet where they were all wearing Bears jerseys entering the stadium in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then they had Allen Robinson with the Sky jersey. It was awesome.
Absolutely love that. Yep, shout out to the Sky. A couple more wins to them. We'll probably talk to you guys this week. Again, the Bears get a win today. 20-9, they beat the Raiders. First road win of the year. Defense, again, was great. No major injuries this week. We'll update you on the health of Akeem Hicks once we know, probably Wednesday or Thursday, if he'll play in Packers, because they'll need him for sure. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is the Club Dub podcast presented by SportsMockery.com. We will also let you guys know as soon as we have a show for this week. It's Packer week. Get ready. We'll have a good guest on for Thursday to talk about that. Packers 4-1. They're first in the division. Bears are number 2 in the division at 3-2. Vikings 2-3, and the Lions are 0-5. So let's try and go 2-0 in the division, right? Above 500.
Be big.
Let's do it against now. All right. Peace.
Yeah.
Enjoy Sunday Night Football. Later.